Good morning, and welcome to the third edition of Cafe Diem with Tina Ann. I'm Tina Ann, your hostess, and I'm so delighted you've come back to join me again today. Today, you notice I'm wearing my crown, my queen crown. This started years ago when some friends of mine, Kelly and Gail, Stacy and Kevin, started calling me the queen. We were all part of an organization, and I was the leader of that organization, and they deemed me the queen. It was so much fun. I would say all the time, it's good to be queen, or the queen, or I have little sayings, the queen has spoken. Started talking to my kids that way. The queen has spoken, and slowly it became my moniker. Now, years later, I had been laid off from my job, and I was starting to feel really depressed. I don't know about you. I don't get depressed very often. I usually have been a person who's been able to cheer myself up, but this time it was different. I sat on the couch. I didn't have any energy. I didn't do the things I like to do. I didn't hang out with my friends. I didn't even return phone calls sometimes. I just had no interest or energy. And I was telling a friend about this one day in a conversation. And I said, you know what? I think I'm depressed. I've never been depressed before. And she said, you can't be depressed. You are the queen of happiness. And we laughed, and the conversation moved on. Well, a few days later, I was sitting around watching TV, and I heard a little voice whispering in my ear, you know, the queen of happiness would not sit around all day. You know, the queen of happiness would do something about this. You know, the queen of happiness would not give in to these feelings. You know, the queen of happiness would not allow the sink to fill up with a bunch of dirty dishes. She'd get up and do something about that. So little by little, the queen started speaking to me. And I realized that I had the power. It was my choice whether I wanted to be depressed. And little by little, I started taking actions and got over that. And I realized that, you know, our happiness is not an accident. It's not about our situation. It doesn't happen because everything's going swimmingly in our life. Basically, happiness is a choice. Abraham Lincoln said, most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. And the queen of happiness kept whispering in my ear and whispering in my ear until she kind of became my alter ego and another one of my queens. In the end, I'll say, wrote this poem that helped me unbelievably, and I'm going to share it with you because I'm hoping it will be helpful to you. So, in times that you are feeling down or giving in to stress, just have a conversation with the queen of happiness. She knows how you can sometimes get into a funky cloud and allow those little voices in your head to talk aloud. In spite of all the efforts to maintain a certain tone, there are the times it seems that we are negatively prone and given to the tendency to only seek and find all the rotten things in Denmark that have occupied our mind. So the queen will pay a visit and will sit you firmly down and reminds you what it takes to put a smile from a frown. So sometimes we forget that all of our joy is ours to claim. If you leave it on the table, you have just yourself to blame. Now, she will not give you answers or wave a magic wand. See, she simply asks the questions and then asks you to respond. Because questions are the answer, as we know they will provide the secrets that you're searching for they are all found inside. She kicks the process off with a pleasing little quest, listing what you're grateful for and all the ways you're blessed. She asks you to remember the forgiveness you've been shown, and then next she has you make a list of all the ways you've grown. Now the queen rules with an iron fist and allows no descent into the fog of hopelessness and all of its laments. She knows that when you allow yourself to sit around and mope, there is simply no chance to turn despair around to hope. It's not that problems disappear or no longer have a place. It's just that happiness depends on what we will embrace. The things we focus on and hold in our mind determine how we feel. And good or bad or right or wrong, it's what will be made real. So the queen of happiness is there for you whenever you forget that the power to be happy is as easy as it gets. She makes you realize and know that it's all up to me, since most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. So that's the show for today. If you're interested in a copy of this poem, send me an email at tinaann@cafediemwithtinaann.com. I'll be happy to share the poems with you. If you have ideas for the show, please leave comments. I'm very interested in your feedback. So in the YouTube section, leave your comments and I will respond. And anything you'd like to see on the show or discussions you'd like to see, I'm very interested in your feedback. Until tomorrow.